Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to the Esoteric Influences for the 9th day of July, 2020. Well, I just was dealing with a wasp on me. No, it was not a murder hornet, but it scared the crap out of me because I was in the bathroom and I had been outside. I was gathering some stuff. I needed to make a mouthwash, and so I went out and I gathered some. I had some self-heal in here, and it's self-heal based, but I wanted to get a little more lemon balm because it's antiviral, and then I wanted to get. I noticed that the meadowsweet was fully in bloom, so I went ahead and cut that, and I'll dry that. But I already have tincture from last year, so I doubt I'll do another one. I'll just see how big it is. If it's not very big, then I might. But anyway, I went out. I got a leaf of comfrey, and I got some lemon balm, and I got some plantain, and so then I brought that back and added it to the self heal, and I'm letting it steep right now, and because I had some from last year, but I wanted to make a fresh batch, and so and it's self heal and all this stuff is really nice for to use as a mouthwash. So I steep it like a tea. I do an infusion, thick one, and then I add a little alcohol to it to preserve it and stick it in the fridge, and there you go. There's my mouthwash. But anyway, I managed to bring one back in. It must have been on my pants, and then it kind of fell down onto my leg, and that's when I found out. Unfortunately, I got a Tupperware container. I put it on top of it, and then I put a thing of hand cleaner on top of that to keep it down so it didn't come off. I made a sign above it explaining what was going on to my husband because he was outside watering. And then I shut the door, and I thought, oh boy, I better put another sign on the door. So I put a sign on the door. And then just as I was coming in here, he walked in so I could show him. So anyway, he's going to take care of the little guy for us and get him outside, but I'm not going to kill it. But anyway, it was just frightening. So it's like, oh, geez, here we go. Anyway, for today's 9 energy, one phase may be beginning or ending and another beginning. That's the 9. A feeling of endings or completion could be experienced when on a 9 energy day. And I don't know, SCOTUS decisions came down today. One had to do with the tribes in, or a tribe maybe. I'm not sure. I just scanned that one, so I don't know for sure. But a tribe in, Oklahoma, saying that half the state does indeed belong to them. And so that's going to be interesting going forward. Yay for them. I'm, pro-Indian, so whatever the tribes get, I'm happy about. And whatever victories they have, it's about time. Ridiculous, we have to deal with this now, but apparently we still do. Anyway, but we also had the SCOTUS decision come out regarding the financials, and the Congress didn't get it, but what they did there is they sent it back to the lower courts because there were some separation of power issues they wanted them to deal with. So that will likely push that off till never land somewhere, because it probably won't happen for a while, if ever, but or at least during this administration. Likely we'll get them afterwards, but by then, it's kind of too late. Well, it isn't, but also he's not above. He doesn't have any presidential immunity though for grand jury stuff, and so which we all knew that. I know they want to think that he does, but that was just an OLC memo. Okay. That's all it was. That was done in the 60s or 70s, 60s maybe. I don't know when it was written, but it's a memo. It's not a law. It's just some guy decided, yeah, we can't indict a sitting president. Well, sure you can. There's no law against it. Of course you can. Other attorneys, congressional or constitutional law professors and law attorneys and all that, they've all said, sure you can. Absolutely you can. I think even Ken Starr said you could. So I don't know what people are thinking, but it's like they're running out the clock or something. It seems like, they're trying to get whatever they can, get over however they can, until they can't anymore. But then it'll be over, and who cares, right? Well, we care. So Cy Vance got what he wanted. Congress did not yet. But as to whether or not we're going to know anything, probably not, because it's a case, right? And so they're not going to say a whole lot, especially if it's going to affect the outcome of the case. Another Deutsche Bank thing, they had to settle vis-a-vis their relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, so we may find out a whole bunch there about what's going on in that world with them. But they seem to be an interesting bank. They seem to have I read that they have a subsidiary that deals specifically with Hezbollah. I don't know if that's all they deal with or if they deal with other groups like Hezbollah, but what's going on? You know, it just seems like they are involved in some stuff, and I guess we're going to find that out. You know, I mean, I had no idea about Deutsche Bank I just thought they were Deutsche Bank. I never knew that they were involved with stuff like this. Really makes you it's like how many other banks are, you know? So it's almost like, well, it's not almost like, it's like we live in this illusion. And it's to keep us all comfortable so that we don't start asking questions about things. People hate it when you ask questions. People hate it when you point out the truth. You get ostracized for such things. I know, I have been. So, you know, it's like, oh no, don't talk to her. Well, yeah, because I told the truth about something and you didn't like it. Well, that's on you. It's not my problem. Somebody had to tell the truth. No one else was going to do it. I was going to, you know. I don't know. Anyway, people. I have Manaz today as the rune for today. If you're following along over there at I'mSteppingAside.com on the esoteric influences for the week, if you go over there. If you want to, by the way, and I try to remember to say this every time, if you want to, you can sign up on the side panel for the newsletter, and it's just the esoteric influences in your box once a week on Sundays. So I do have some shameless book plugs from some of the books I've written down below it, but other than that, I might put in there once in a while if say the Herbal Academy, for example, I'm an affiliate for them. If they have a course, there might be something like that in there. But other than that, you're not really going to see anything like that. It's just mostly either, you know, me trying to sell my books or you know, you're looking at the esoteric influences. So if you want to do that, just put your email in there. That's all you have to do. That's all I get. And it goes to my newsletter software thing that I use, and goes to MailChimp is where it goes. And so I do that over there. I do all my newsletters, and I do I send newsletters out about other affiliate stuff. I'll do that, you know, sometimes. It just depends. In fact, when Herbal Academy has a class they're offering, I'll put it in that. I just think it gives it the ability to have a little bit more information than what I can do in a blog post. So I just do that. And if people want to sign up for the newsletter, you might get something like that too. But other than that, you know, it's pretty straightforward. It's just this stuff. So anyway, today's rune is Manaz. It's the earth element. It means humanity, individual within society, integration, mind, body, spirit connection. It's also known as the thought rune and memory, but having to do with the collective. Not on the level of the Akashic record that Othala represents, but in the present moment of our collective experience here in form. So I went ahead and I exploded this thing so you could see it, to look at what's contained within it. We see Isa here terminating here on the ends. We see which is alignment in spirit. It's the 11th rune of the Elder Futhark, the Norn rune of the static realm or the present moment. We see Dagaz in the middle, a new day. Energy at its saturation point becomes its opposite. Not my interpretation, someone else's. We see Vunyo forward and reversed, so fellowship with others, joy. We see Gebo in the center, balanced energy exchange, and you know, if you've seen me do this before, you know that Gebo explodes into Kenaz in all directions, which is the light of spirit informing. So you see, Manaz is an extremely powerful rune in terms of who we are in relationship to other people. And I would suspect that, I think that we're exploring a lot of that right now. I think that all of the stuff in retrograde, all those planets and planetary bodies in retrograde, It's giving us an opportunity right now to loosen our perceptions, particularly surrounding our interactions with others and our relationships with others. We are at odds right now, about who the guy in the Oval Office. We're at odds there. We're at odds about the virus and how we're going to deal with it. We're at odds with all of that. And so I'm thinking that what we're really seeing here with Menas is we're basically trying to figure out where do we fit in all of this, and are we on a shared path with others, you know. So something to think about anyway. The moon is fully in Pisces. It's not a split energy day today. We're not going from Aquarius to Pisces. But allow your imagination to inspire you today. Pisces are very creative. I knew a guy who was a Pisces. He was a painter, auto painter, but he also painted other things. And he could see things that others just couldn't. And I really think that was because he's a Pisces. There's a conjunct between the moon and Ceres today that promises close relationships with women in your life. So this Pisces energy, you're going to nurture yourself and others today with that. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Did I say anything about Manas? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I went on. Maybe I just said what it was about. I think I did. I can't believe I blew right past that. Anyway, regarding Manas, it's a 2 energy. It's the 20th rune. So it's a 2 energy, so balance, right? But we're talking again about relationships, since we need to be mindful today about who we are in relationship to others. During this difficult pandemic, remember that we're in it together and we can accomplish anything if we focus on the truth. And again, that's really, whose truth? I mean, it's got to be higher self-truth, right? It's got to be a soul level truth, not ego's truth. Or the guy in the Oval Office's truth who wants us to believe everything he wants, but it's not true. On the human design, at the end section of the esoteric influences down there at the bottom, we're going to seek an informal channel today if the situation at hand still lacks clarity. So if we're still experiencing, if we just don't understand something, it may not be deception at work, although it could be deception at work that caused the lack of clarity now. And so if you're somebody that was deceived or manipulated or maybe used for their own purposes, and now you're in the middle of something because you've made some decisions or you've acted in a way that really is not part of how it's supposed to be, well, just fall on your sword, take your hit and move on, because and get yourself back on the right path. If you have to be responsible for your actions, if people are going to make you be responsible, then you're just going to have to accept that that's just how it is. If you got duped, you got duped, but ultimately you probably are going to have to own that. And that's fine. You learn something then. I really think, especially if people understand that that's what happens, they are going to see it in a different light, but they're also going to expect you to make a course correction as well. It's one of those things, well, now why are you still doing this? See, it's that sort of thing. So you don't want to get caught up in that sort of dichotomy with people today. But if there's a way to sort of find out what's going on, I mean, maybe you feel embarrassed to even ask if there's somebody informal you can talk to, or maybe you can go to some kind of source that's neutral, then fine, do that. But there could be more than meets the eye here, and someone with more experience could provide a solution that you're looking for. So until clarity returns, just avoid impulsive action that could interfere with a successful outcome. We tend to act without thinking anyway, or thinking very much. And so it's one thing, if you generate the whole thing, and you're wrong and you screw up and you do something that affects other people or whatever, if it begins and ends with you, then it's easy, isn't it? You know who to look at, you know who needs the course correction. But if you're duped by someone else, it's easy to not want to take responsibility for your choice to believe them. Especially if the situation was unclear to begin with, and if you take out what they say, it's still unclear. It's like maybe you're on the wrong track and you were put there by someone. That's the kind of energy that they're talking about, I think, here. So be sure before acting, be sure before making a decision that you're not doing something that's going to harm someone else or harm you in the process for harming someone else, right? So again, you know, this could be a puppeteer puppet situation. And the thing is that you thought what you thought, and maybe there really, in your estimation, there was just no reason not to. Still doesn't mean that you won't be responsible for your actions or the effect you had on somebody, especially if you knew that it was an unclear situation to begin with. So it's complicated today, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I guess that's all I have. Thanks a lot for watching, and do come back tomorrow. I'll start the esoteric influences for next week, probably tomorrow. But we've got another 2 days for it. I'm going to go ahead now and start Somewhat Daily Tarot and Runes. So look for both of these over on the side panel on my blog, over at Stepping Aside at I'mSteppingAside.com. If you want to follow me over on Patreon, there's a link there. It says Become a Patron. Click on it and go over to Patreon. If you want to become a patron, you can. If you don't, that's fine too. Some stuff I publish public, some stuff I don't. I publish just to patrons. So if you want to see that stuff, you gotta donate, because it's just a donation, and it can be monthly or yearly. It doesn't matter, or not. Just whatever you feel like doing. I'm just happy someone reads my work. So really, I don't care how you do it. I have not done my piece for Medium, although I did put the correspondences and astrological information up on there. I may do that again today in lieu of a tarot reading. I just can't. I've got part of it done, and I may be able to finish it. I don't know. Once I get past it enough, though, it's hard for me to come back to it. So I don't know. I'll take a look at it. It's a really cool reading. So it's about transitions. So maybe I will finish it. But I've just been getting so sidetracked here around the house that I just haven't done it. So anyway, I don't know. Feeling like a slacker this week. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. But anyway, I'll get it together and get it done. Anyway, thanks for watching. And do have a good day. Be safe out there. The virus is going crazy. And I don't know. Consider some alternative education for your children in the fall. Really. See if you can swing it. Because if you're in one of the areas that the schools are opening, I don't know about that. I talked about homeschooling yesterday. Homeschooling is cool, and if you can at all do it, I recommend it. So anyway, have a good day. Be good to yourself. Be good to one another. Wear a mask. For pity's sakes, wear a mask. And blessed be.